we on? Good. Welcome to the Better Than Not podcast. Sometimes we get it right, sometimes we don't. But when we at least do something, we know it's almost always better than not. Hi there, and welcome to Better Than Not, the podcast that aims to capture shifting perspectives and thought-provoking ideas in conversation, while asking the question, is anything like it seems? Inspired from my series, A Changing Frame of Reference, which you can read on the Substack app, and I hope you will, because it might give you some insight into what the podcast is about. I'll hope you subscribe to my YouTube channel, Better Than Not, so you can hear some of the episodes and I can continue to bring you good guests, great guests like I have today. And with that, I'm your host, Doug Gardam. And today I've a returning guest, first time in video. No, you've been on video before.
Yep.
Craig Collett. Craig, how are you?
I'm well, Doug. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good.
A little lengthy introduction, maybe, shall we say. Lots of things going on. Craig is a longtime friend. Maybe one of the longest time friends I have. Craig's a musician. And Craig's getting back into a business that he loves, which is probably going to be a little bit about what we talk about today. But great to have you back, Craig.
It's great to be here, Doug.
And you sound great.
Thank you. So do you.
So how would you describe how you're feeling now with your new world kind of getting adjusted with being back in the music world?
I'm having fun. It's I kind of had enough of it. And I've been gainfully retired for 5 years, but I've been working on stuff during that period of time. Not all of it nice. But the time had come for me to get back in the saddle.
And as you can see, some of that saddle is right behind his left shoulder, which no doubt we'll be talking a little bit about today. So Craig and I, as we talked about in previous, we were in our a band together back in high school. My first band, or pseudo kind of first band, but we were pretty serious about stuff. Craig was the lead guitarist. Craig brought the Beach Boys into my life, which is another thing that is a little bit different now because I guess you call it the late Brian Wilson has passed away since the last time we talked.
Yeah, that and then what's happened over the last week has been just astonishingly bad.
I was going to say I wasn't quite ready to go there yet today, but we'll see how we go.
Well,
but
you brought it up.
I know it. I didn't expect to bring it up in that way, but
we can wait for later.
But it's kind of crazy when you think about, like, the first one that pops to my head is Ozzy Osbourne.
Yep. Yeah.
So, what do you know about the Ozzy world that maybe hasn't been said yet?
I have some stories from people who were there that I really shouldn't tell.
And we're back again. And Ozzy. So, yeah, last week, I mean, it just seems to be week to week now, but Ozzy was the first one that I heard about.
Yeah.
And, but then you had, like, Hulk Hogan was in there, but that's not really the music world, but he was a well-known figure. But then you've given me a few more that...
Cleo Lane, the jazz singer.
Yes. Was she based in the U.S.?
No, I think she's UK.
UK, okay.
Yeah. His name is completely slipping my mind right now, but the guitar player from Golden Earring.
Yes. I know who you're talking about. And I'm because I was thinking of the jazz Tom Lehrer?
Tom Lehrer, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it's I mean, I guess it's kind of the time, right? I mean, we don't live forever, obviously. But
well, I mean, some of those people, well, Cleo Lane and Tom Lehrer were both 97 or something. Right?
Crazy number.
Yeah.
But Have I caught all of them?
No, probably not. But I
So
don't I don't know either.
so I kind of started with the late Brian Wilson.
Yeah.
Can you kind of put in words? So I didn't really know a lot about the Beach Boys until I met you.
Yeah.
You really brought them into my life, and then I began to things like you introduced like Pet Sounds and the brilliance, genius of Brian Wilson. What was it like when you heard the news?
It was well, you know, if it was 30 or 40 years ago,
Hmm.
I would have had a different reaction, like when both of his brothers
Right.
passed and when Elvis passed. I was I was young enough to not realize the whole concept of getting old, and then eventually it happens. So
Yes.
um,
We might be experiencing something of that.
someday, some people may talk about us, Doug. Um, so, I mean, I kind of took it with more, I guess, a sense of resignation and recognition that that's the way it goes. It was
Mhm.
certainly a sad moment, but probably not as emotional as it would have been in the past.
Interesting. Because I was thinking of you when that happened. I might have
Yeah.
even sent you a text. I can't remember whether I
Yeah,
did.
you did.
And because it was like, I was wondering whether it may be like when Neil Peart passed away from Rush.
Yeah.
And it was like, it just kind of like, here's a person I've never met.
Hmm.
I'll say been greatly influenced by
Yeah.
um, in much of his writing. I'm not a percussionist at all or a drummer,
Hmm.
but a lot of his lyrics and writing and how kind of profound effect he'd had on my life, and he never knew I existed, like we
Yeah.
never met, and I found it kind of odd how people have that influence on us.
Yeah.
Was Brian Wilson like that for you?
Well, I mean, I did have the pleasure and honor of working with him several times. So,
Yes, so you did meet him.
yeah, I did.
So that's a little different. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Uh, I never worked really directly with Neil Peart,
Mm.
but I did do an awesome gig that he was involved in when he went on the Rick Mercer show and taught Rick Mercer how to play drums. I provided a drum kit for,
No way.
yeah.
Wasn't that like Neil had his big like massive setup and Rick had like
Yeah, a
a
little kit
five
with
piece?
it was, I don't even think it was a 5 piece. It might have been a 4 piece, but it was
You
pretty
set
fun.
that up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of
Yeah.
cool.
And I did a lot of stuff. I did a lot of stuff indirectly. I worked through his drum company, Drum Workshop,
Right.
that he endorsed. So I did a lot of stuff for Neil through them. So, but I
Ah,
did
okay.
work directly with the other two characters.
Interesting. Interesting. So with the Wilsons, so the first time I would have seen the Beach Boys was at the World Rock Festival in the 70s. You took us to?
Yeah, that was with Steve Miller, Pablo Cruz, and
Yes.
Journey.
Yes, that would have been right. And Brian
78,
Wilson,
summer 78.
78?
Yeah.
And Brian Wilson was at that show, right?
He was. That was unusual at that point in time. But yeah, he was there.
And I can remember the like the harmonies because that was like everybody would have been there but Dennis, right?
No, Dennis was there.
So I got to see Dennis too.
You saw it at
The Beach
that show
Boys.
in 78. That was the original band.
Oh my goodness, make me feel pretty good saying that. I did not realize that. So
Yeah.
I saw the entire Beach Boys.
That was one of the few times that I saw them that all 5 original members were involved.
Okay. Well, that's really cool now that I think of it. I didn't really recognize it at the time, but that's pretty neat. Wow. Because I do remember Pablo Cruz from that show.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the first shows I ever went to, actually.
Yeah.
Didn't we go to Fran's Diner on the way down?
Uh, that's possible. I don't remember that detail,
In
but
fact,
it could be.
I want to say that that was one of the first concerts we went to kind of as a band. Because didn't Craig go too?
Craig was there, and
And,
Mark Sutherland was there because we all had
okay.
T-shirts with Sutherland's aluminum on the back with the phone number.
No way.
We were free advertising. Yeah.
That's a detail I didn't remember, but that was quite. And it was a hot day to me. That was the old C&E Stadium, wasn't it?
The full bowl. Yeah, it was crazy. And
So how many people would have been there?
My understanding, if I remember correctly, it was around just under 60,000.
Wow. Okay, that was a crowd.
I remember going to see ELO in the same place, and there was 80,000 people there. And at that time, the population of Markham was 80,000. It was like everybody's here. Hey, everybody!
Oh, that is.
But
pretty cool.
I thought that opening band, I thought, they're pretty good, man. They might go somewhere. That Journey band.
They opened?
They were the opening act. Yeah.
Wow, that is so weird to me. I just don't even think of them as an opening band like today.
Yeah. Yeah, but
they opened.
Yeah. And at the time their drummer was Ainsley Dunbar, who I'm a huge fan of. He played with Zappa.
Oh wow. Okay.
And he had his own solo stuff going on as well. But
so what hit did they have then? What was do you remember the hit that was the big one then?
Wheel in the Sky, I think, had just hit the radio.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, you're making me feel good about this concert. Because that's that would have been that's like going to see Bryan Adams open for Loverboy.
Yeah. I strangely believe I saw Bryan Adams at the Jarvis House.
Like that. That's like seeing you two at what was it at Barrymore's in Ottawa.
Barrymore's in Ottawa, yeah.
And they come back the next year and played Lansdowne Stadium, right? Like it was just kind of a crazy time.
Yeah.
So, in taking those times back, which were kind of like very exciting. We were young.
Mm-hmm.
We knew what we wanted to do in our world. We
had no idea how to do it.
No. Which at that time, surprisingly, was not a bad thing, even though we were kind of led to believe that it was. And I'm thinking, when you compare it to the world, that music world today, is it? I don't know whether you can even compare it. It's just so different. It's been through so many different. Because in those days, there was nothing like backing tracks and sequencers and all that kind of stuff that's there today.
The one thing about the music business today that I don't really particularly like is the music.
You're not the first person I've heard say that.
Yeah.
Doesn't Rick Beato talk a little bit about that too?
He does.
A lot.
He absolutely, and I agree with everything he says.
It's because it's kind of
like
a weird thing.
I like a song that has a melody that consists of more than 3 notes.
Yeah. Is it part of the sign of the time of our attention spans kind of shrinking to the level they have, possibly?
I don't think it's our attention span that's shrinking. I think it's the younger people.
Okay.
I went out in the car yesterday, and I can't listen to hit radio station. I just can't do it. I listen to a classical station, and they played a recording of the Hoagie Carmichael song "Stardust," which is just a stupendous melody.
Yes,
it actually moves places. It doesn't just do this. The 3 notes that it uses.
Yes, no question. Yeah. No question. To me, it's I'm thinking back to during that stage, and there was like it was a very mechanical world too, right? Like you
Yep.
had to play the guitar, like you had to
Yes.
play the piano.
Yep.
They had PA systems that like required cables to connect them.
Yep.
The microphones were on stands or were in your hands. Nobody had
Yep.
one strapped to their head. And it's like it's such a different like kind of time zone. And it's like how they were created. Like I haven't been to a show in quite some time actually now. So like all I've seen is the clips that go on.
Yeah.
But like the moving stages and like
Yeah.
the
Well,
performers flying through the air over the crowd and
the last time I went to shows that weren't people I knew playing in a pub that sat 30 people.
mm-hmm.
The last concerts I went to were in 2019.
Oh, that's not that long ago.
No, but I went and saw King Crimson's 50th anniversary
Okay.
show. Weird Al Yankovic with
Yes.
the symphony, and Graham Nash.
Oh, okay. A solo.
Yeah, well, solo with a band.
Okay. Okay.
With his band. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and the only reason I went because the first two shows were at I don't know if it was the Budweiser stage then or if it was still the Molson Amphitheater.
Okay.
And the other show, the Graham Nash show, was at the Queen Elizabeth Theater. So I could get on the GO train in Burlington and get off at the same stop every time. So
it was easy.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise I probably wouldn't have gone.
The convenience.
Yeah.
Interesting. You know, I'm trying to think. One of the last shows I would have been to was with you.
Yeah, we did that Rush thing
with our sons.
That we took the boys.
That was very cool.
We did bonding with the boys.
Yes, it was having no idea that this would be almost history in the making either. Yeah. You had a pretty good idea that it was history.
Well,
you had an inside line on it all, though.
I had an inside line on it, but I didn't know it was going to end the way it did. I mean, I don't think anybody really knew much about that.
No, apparently not, because it was very. I thought it was so interesting on how people deal with like illnesses and how they feel, because and there's no judgment here, but it's like you had Gordon Downey from the Tragically Hip.
Yeah.
He was not secret. He came out and spoke a lot about it. He performed while he was in, like, I'll say, quite deep into the brain cancer, and almost in a way celebrated his life and legacy before passing away. Whereas Neil Peart, as you said, who I was and still am a very big fan of his work. I'm a big fan of Gordon Downey's work too, mind you, but it was like like you said, no one knew, but like very, very close people to the man.
Yeah, I know one person who may have known.
But, really?
Yeah.
And they were like, were they kind of like in honor to the man? They were to keep it to themselves.
Oh, yeah, I would imagine. I can't imagine, when the guy says, it's between you and me. Let's not talk about this.
Yes. No, it is, and it's like, it's so interesting when you see that in how different people want to, shall we say, deal with an illness that is a serious illness for that matter. Yeah. And you see it kind of done in that.
Well, they had the same thing, right?
Yes. Yeah. No, that's like what was so. In fact, I heard recently, I think, that his brother, Pert's brother, is suffering from it too. But anyway, it's that would be kind of considered maybe a rumor or gossip, and I probably shouldn't go and say those things. But
speaking of Graham Nash, the Hollies had a song called "Rumors, Gossip, and Words Untrue."
And it's really easy to fall into that category with the kind of information we have available to us.
Yeah. Well,
to
I
say
think
the
the
least.
problem is with this age, it's easy to spread information. Whether that information is factual or not is another matter. And the way people will just read something and go, holy shit, I have to pass this along. And they don't bother to check.
No source.
Yeah, I mean, the number of people who I've seen, getting back to our initial topic, which we should try to move away from because it's getting depressing.
I was going to say morbid.
The number of people that I've read about who have died in the last week, that is absolutely not true. It's just because people keep forwarding.
Oh, you mean they're reported being dead and they're not dead?
Yeah, well, I mean, and it's funny because I can't believe that people will look at these things that come up on their Facebook feed and go, that can't possibly be fake. It looks so true. It looks so real. Like, you can tell by looking at the stuff. Any AI pictures I see of people, I'm like, just what? Like a dog. I'm look like a dog. Cock my head and I look. That's not.
No.
Yeah. I can't believe people actually fall for that shit.
It is. I think a lot of it has a frame of mind that you can be in, and I think part of it comes out of Orwell of if you agree with it, like if it sits into your kind of belief system, it starts to fall. Sorry, but to your point, now with deaths, I have to check them a few times before I'm. I
check them all
because it's I can't I just can't. Well, it kind of goes back to the other thing too, is so many of these people I've never met, I don't know at all, and here I am. I could be spreading that information that is kind of inaccurate. So,
how many times was it announced that Gordon Lightfoot died before he actually did?
Well, the funny part is, I was just thinking that because it was like that came up at least once that I saw, and I'm going, oh, he's not dead.
5 or 6 times.
Really? Eh?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Every year it seemed that Gordon Lightfoot had died.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So we'll have to. So you just kind of pushed us onto another subject. So I had I've got another. It hasn't been. It's not out yet. But it'll be out before this episode is out.
Yeah.
And I talked with Barry Keane, who is the drummer, the 48-year drummer with he was the drummer for the Gordon Lightfoot's band for 48 years.
Yeah.
So
I know, right?
I discover during crazy stories with that he put. When I say crazy, that doesn't mean they're not true. They're very accurate. It's just that it's like how I kind of start now with is anything what it seems, because it's like he fell into this kind of world, right? When you think of how many people go to school to figure out how to do certain things, and it just came to him. Like where he might be standing in the hallway and another musician comes by him and says, do you want to do this? Like it was that kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And what was really interesting is why I bring it back to our conversation is, and I won't go through the whole story here, but he had a story on how the Guess Who name came about. I guess it's legendary and many people know this, but I didn't know this.
I have the record too, by the way.
So after this conversation with Barry Keane, I call and talk to your Craig. And I talked to him and I said about he being in the meeting where they were discussing this with his father. Barry Keane's father was I think he was the owner, but certainly the president of Quality Records.
Was definitely the president.
And
I can prove it.
And I'm telling Craig this story, which he kind of knows already, of course. And then he goes, and what did you say to me as mic drop?
I was because we were just on the phone, so there was no video involved.
Yep.
So while we were talking, and I had you on speakerphone, I was digging into my desk because I have an envelope, and we can pause and pick this up after I get back from my desk with the envelope if you want. But I said, I pulled it out, this thing out of my desk, and I read it. And
we'll pause for a moment.
Yeah.
And you go get it.
I'll go get it. I don't know how any of that stuff works. I don't understand.
So just setting the tone again. So I'm telling Craig about this story about, shall we say, how the Guess Who got their name. And I won't say any more. You're going to have to go back and listen to Barry Keane's episode. But after I told Craig this, who kind of already knew the story. Did you know that young Barry Keane was in the meeting?
I did not know that. No.
So I'm here talking of, just like I said, literally, I think I ended this session a half an hour before I talked to Craig. And what do you, Craig, he goes, kind of like we've been doing here. You kind of go, guess what I have?
I have.
This is crazy.
The Guess Who's original recording contract with Quality Records.
Unbelievable.
And that at the bottom, that is the signature of one George Keane. George?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's his brother.
Barry Keane's father.
Yes.
So the thing I didn't tell you earlier, though, was because when this contract was signed, Burton Cummings was not a member of the band. This is when they were Chad Allen.
Yes.
But the contract is to the Guess Who. So Shaken All Over must have already come out.
Yes.
But we have
that's crazy.
Alan Coble, who is Chad Allen, Randy Bachman, Jim Cale, Bob Ashley, who was a keyboard player in the band.
Okay.
Gary Peterson, and Bob Burns, who was their manager.
Amazing, man. Like, how crazy is that?
And then, but then, Doug, when they got out of their record contract, Burton Cummings was a member of the band. So the severing contract.
Oh my goodness, you have that too.
I have that too. So it's and Randy was now going by Randall Charles Bachman.
Oh wow! Oh wow! And now they're still touring with the Marshall Tucker Band as BTO, right?
Yeah, and Burton Cummings is on this one.
Crazy, man.
So somewhere there must have been an amendment.
That's right.
Adding him to the band, but anyway.
So dare I ask, like, how did you come upon these documents?
I can't tell you.
Oh, okay.
But
anyway,
it came through somebody we both know.
Ah, okay. So now what's really interesting here, and this is what kind of started to bring a new portion or subtitle to this podcast, is anything what it seems. Like, because it's kind of crazy that here I am. I've talked to, so he was a very young man when he was part of this discussion on the Guess Who title. And I think he said he was 15. And you kind of go, like, how many people would have, like, just been, like, crazed to be, like, a part of that? And he did nothing. He was working in the warehouse.
Yep.
His dad called him in because he listened to the young music from Britain. Like, and that's what I've kind of say, like, it's like, what are we even in control of? Like how many people would die to be in certain circumstances, and then others, like, well, he just happened to be my dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's one of those things to me that just continues to, like, appear in this world that we live in, that just seems to be staggering in many ways as far as how those things come together. And the stories in the music world, like, just bring those things on. It's like, I remember reading the story in Me. I think it was called Me. Elton John biography.
Greatest book ever in the history of the world. Everybody should read it. It really is.
So that there's a high praise for this book. And in this, like, part of the story of Elton John is he played with Bluesology and a bunch of different bands. You know a lot of this.
Yeah.
But apparently he auditioned to play in an orchestra for a live concert show theater, like you did, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And he didn't make the audition, meaning
Right.
that he wasn't good enough for this show. Again,
Yeah,
he would have been Reginald Dwight then, not
yeah.
Elton John. And it's like you're kind of reading this, you go like, really? Like, because he kind of was a child prodigy, as far as I understand, with the music, right?
Mm.
And then he kind of goes on, and he called it, this bloke came up to him with a manila envelope with some stuff in it, and he hands it to young Reginald Dwight or Elton John, and he says, "This is from a guy up the hill, a bloke up the hill, who writes poetry." And I was wondering, maybe you could put music to it. And out of those sheets that were in that manila envelope, I think were your song,
Yeah,
and Tiny Dancer,
yeah,
and a bunch of others. And you kind of go like, if he had never been handed that manila envelope,
yeah,
would we know the likes of Elton John to this day? Like, it's just, to me, it's like, that's, and he had literally, he wasn't out, like, he was out, send me your lyrics. He wasn't out knocking door to door. Do you know a poet that I could actually work? Like, there was none of that as far as you could tell from the story. He was down, he was depressed because he hadn't been good enough for this show band.
yeah,
And then this guy comes up and hands him this manila envelope. And I
yeah.
kind of go like, but the music world is full of these stories.
Yep. He used to do session work where, when you have a budget recording label that will, the hits of the Beatles, and then in tiny lettering down the bottom says, by the Bozo Band or whatever.
Right.
He used to do that. He played piano in a band that did knockoff recordings for budget records.
Amazing. Like,
Yeah.
it's just where they, and that's like, that would be like such a neat thing to do, to be in a room with like a Billy Joel, a small room, or an Elton John. I'll put Burton Cummings even into that
Oh, yeah.
category. And any song you could come up with, they could play for you on the piano.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple of great CD packages available by the Guess Who when they were the house band on that TV show Let's Go in the 60s.
Tell me more.
Where their job was to do the hits of the day. They played every hit on the radio and did it live on the show. It was like an American Bandstand type of show, but Let's Go was it was a regional thing. It went right across the country. There was a Toronto version of it, and then there was a version in Winnipeg, and there was a version in Vancouver. And I think the house band at one time in Vancouver might have been, can't remember their name. They became Chilliwack, essentially.
Okay.
I can't remember the name though. But so the Guess Who did the Winnipeg a version of it, and CBC, being infinitely intelligent,
Yes.
did what the BBC used to do, and they would scrub over tape and reuse it. And apparently, there was a janitor at the place at the CBC in Winnipeg, or CT, whatever station it was. They shouldn't cast aspersions on the wrong national network.
There we go.
Got a hold of Randy Bachman and said, "There's a whole pile of tape here with your audio on it." They want to scrub it and reuse it. Do you want to pay me for it? And so Randy released, I think there's a double CD and a single CD package and they do both the Doors version of Light My Fire and Jose Feliciano's version of Light My Fire.
Wow.
They do just whatever was a hit at the time.
And the reason why they did this is to get around the licensing. Is this correct?
I think the reason they did that was because they were making money. And
because they got paid for it.
They got paid because they were hosting a regional important after-school sock hop type show.
Okay.
Which was still big back then. Oh, the Collectors became Chilliwack.
The Collectors, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I did. Were they actually from Chilliwack?
I don't know. I don't. I have no idea.
Because I live now like half an hour from Chilliwack,
Yeah,
so that's
yeah.
why I'm thinking like, no,
I mean,
if I go
things.
back to this, nothing is what it seems. Very likely,
Yeah,
none of them are from Chilliwack.
possible. Well, Chicago was from Chicago, but they made it big in L.A. I mean,
That I was going to say, doesn't that brings a lyric from New York to L.A. or something like that?
Patsy
But
Gallant.
that's the one. That's the one I'm
Yeah,
thinking of.
yeah.
But how crazy that
So
is.
they that was their gig. They had a job, and so they were learning and the producer apparently liked them, and every once in a while let them slip in one of their own songs.
That is a crazy because I think now like when you think of the Guess Who, you have or the people associated with the Guess Who played in this were part of the band. They
Mm,
had hits like These Eyes,
yeah,
American Woman, Taking Care of Business. You can't see nothing, ain't seen nothing yet. Like they're massive, massive worldwide hits.
they were the first Canadian band to have the #1 record in Canada and America at the same time.
Wow. That like it's kind of crazy when you think about like that I'll call it that storm that went through with just so many crazy things going on.
Yep.
And to think that goes back to that story that you've got this young Barry Keane at 15 going in and being part of that. What should we call this band?
Yeah, yeah,
It
and
blows my mind to me. Like
and
it's crazy.
who then himself went on to have a career like one job for longer than a lot of people work in a
Unbelievable.
factory or whatever.
Yep. Like and being around like legends like
Yeah.
quite often too. Like that's one of the things that I think about when I go back. Like Gordon Lightfoot was one of the early, I'll say, big musicians that I can remember. Like they're prior to that Rush band.
Yeah.
So like I can remember listening to Sundown over and over and over
Yep.
again, and being on the old cassette. Like I mean, I talk now like they existed, but you could go and rent a cassette, not rent,
Yeah,
get it
go to the
on
library.
loan. You get it
Yeah.
loaned from the library. And I got a lot of my early music from there. Toys in the Attic, Aerosmith. I can
Yep.
remember listening to that over and over. Goodbye Yellow Brick Road by Elton. Like that was like still an unbelievable album to me.
Yeah.
And if Legend's correct, he wrote the whole thing over a weekend. Like just to me, it's just kind of incredible. That doesn't mean they recorded it over the whole weekend, but
Right.
he wrote the material for what they eventually recorded
That
over a
was
weekend.
what, Yellow Brick Road?
Yellow Brick Road
Yeah.
double
Well,
album. Like
that was during the cocaine years, so he was probably awake 24 hours a day.
well, there's a comedian that does this bit around saying about drugs, right? And like you think about how many crazy, beautiful songs we have today that were written under the influence of a
Yeah.
lot of different chemicals.
And that you can go right back into the ragtime and jazz era for that, man.
Oh my goodness! It's kind of amazing to me how those things kind of come together.
Yeah.
And when I go back, so there's that Gordon Lightfoot era, and then it wasn't long after that that Bachman Turner Overdrive came into my life.
Yeah.
And they were like quite like I'll say influential in those early times. I didn't know the Guess Who that much,
Mm.
but I knew a couple of the songs. Obviously, American Woman,
Everybody knew that.
and I can remember the very first time I heard American Woman. I was in the back seat of my cousin's red Mustang. It might have been a '67 Mustang, the
Nice.
squarish kind. We were in Port Rowan. I was in thongs. I think I might have been 10 years old. And there wasn't too much cooler at that moment than that. And
Yeah.
that song was just, oh my goodness, man. That riff, that guitar riff, like
Yep.
amazing to me how that kind of came together. So then you kind of go through that because you mentioned about early on that first rock festival we went to.
Yeah.
You said you had seen when you said you saw ELO, did you see them in the Flying Saucer stage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Out of the Blue tour. Yeah.
Out of the Blue. There's another great double album.
Yeah. And
I
there's
saw
not a
that
lot
too.
of great double albums. There's a lot of double albums, but not a lot of them are great.
Yeah, it's
You know,
funny.
because it's like when you're limited to 40 minutes,
Yeah.
you generally make a really good record. When you can double that, it's not necessarily the best thing to do. It's like giving a guitar player a wireless unit. Like, why would you want to do that? No.
Now, when you say a guitar player a wireless unit, you mean without strings?
No, like without a cable, so you can go
Oh,
anywhere in the room.
okay, yes,
No,
okay,
you don't.
yes,
You don't. No,
yeah.
stay, sit.
And I could, you know, that's funny when you say that because I remember going to see Rush, and I'm pretty sure they had a person assigned to letting the cable out
Yep, the cable
and
tech. Yeah,
bringing the cable back
yeah,
as Lifeson would move. I think Lee too, as
yeah,
they would move around the stage.
yeah. That also was in 1978.
Really?
Yeah, that was the. Well, unless you saw them before the Hemispheres tour, which I didn't. That was the first time I saw them.
I want to say I remember seeing them when they did Xanadu and made the dry ice flow over the stage under the lights that made it look like a waterfall.
Well, they did that. I
And they
think
probably
starting
did it repeatedly, but
in '77 was when they started doing that. But you know,
I want to say I saw them for sure on a New Year's Eve
yeah, that was in
at
'78.
Maple Leaf Gardens with
Yeah.
Max Webster, but don't ask me what
Oh
album
yeah, it
tour
was
that would have been.
'78 because I saw them a couple days earlier, um, and Wireless was the opening act the night I saw them.
Yeah, Wireless, man. That's another band, right?
Yeah,
Forgot you kind of forget some of these
because one of the guys in
bands.
that band was a brother of somebody we went to school with, right?
Oh yeah, I did. Did I know that?
I don't know. We went to. Do you remember a guy named Brent Crawford? Should we be naming people without getting their permission?
Oh, I think it's okay. Nobody's
We
gonna
went to
be
high school with somebody named Brent Crawford.
okay.
And
I remember
I'm
that. His
pretty
brother
sure
was in it.
his brother Mike was in Wireless,
Wireless.
as far
Oh,
as I
okay.
know. I could be
Interesting.
wrong, though.
So I started talking about your going back into a
Mm,
business that you love.
yeah.
Do you remember like getting started at that? Like, did you have it in your head that you were always going to be in the music business?
Yeah, I think pretty much. I think the last time we did this was,
Yes.
it's like September the 6th or whatever, 1966, when the Monkees went on the air, and it was like, I want to do that. That looks like way too much fun. And then for like 6 months, I wanted to be a truck driver, but then it all came back to being in a band or being in the music business, not necessarily being in a band,
And
but
but that's kind of what I meant. Like we got into the band, and I remember from the last conversation, like when you look back at some of these stories, we had all the ingredients for what to do,
yeah.
and there's been quite a few conversations subsequent to that, and but you were kind of like, even if I'm not playing, I want to be part of the music business.
Yeah.
And do you remember like acknowledging that in your head, or did it just become I'm in the music business?
Nah, it was just, um, I don't remember consciously making a decision, except, of course, for the whole Monkees thing. Oh,
Right, right.
these guys, they live in a beach house. They're having fun. And they get paid? Oh, hell, I'm into that. Um, I, but no, I mean, I just ended up getting a job as a guitar teacher at a music store.
Yes, yes. We talked about that.
Yeah, now recently defunct, that store.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, they shut her down.
Oh,
Um,
wow. Okay.
and that's where I got started because I went from being a teacher to also working in the store and then working in the rental department, then becoming the manager of the rental department and no longer teaching because it burned me out. I didn't even play for about 10 years.
Yes, no, I remember that. And then you
Um,
like you saw like or realized there is I'll say an area that's not being served here,
yeah.
or that you could serve better than what you
Well,
were doing.
it was being served, but and I didn't. I hadn't. I really didn't know what I was doing. I was just sort of thrown in the water and told to swim.
Yes.
And so
And you
you
figured
know
it out.
you make a couple of mistakes, you learn from them, you don't make them again, and you move on. So I moved on, and I ended up this really funny story. I mean, I don't know if it's funny,
It's funny just you
ironic
saying
maybe. I
that.
when around the time that my career at that music store ended, um, the people who worked under me, like the department that I was running, the rental
Mm.
department, we had a production sound and lighting company. We had the backline company, which is what I ended up doing, and we had just a regular, mom and dad want to rent a guitar for their kid to learn take lessons. So there was three different departments. Um, a couple of the guys who I hired went and took the sound
Okay.
company end of it, and they went and started their own thing. And I ended up leaving and going to work for
Okay.
another production company. But eventually, I ended up buying a lot of their inventory and took over the backline division. And and I'll come back to this later because we have other things to talk about. But there is a tie up going to happen later in our
Oh,
discussion.
cool. No, because it's just like, where did the term backline come from?
It refers to the fact that the instruments like the drums and the amplifiers and stuff are the back line of the stage. PA is the front line.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I I've had that question for like probably 20 years.
Yeah.
And I've never asked that question before. I had no idea. Like I figured it's because you come into the back of a
I
facility
I
and
was doing it for 10 years before I figured out what it meant.
oh wow. Okay. So it's an interesting terminology to say
Yeah.
the least.
Yeah. It's
You know,
becoming more common. A lot more people know of it now than did 30 years ago.
well
Nobody
they
knew it was called then.
it's isn't it probably an easier way to get set up for a traveling band?
How
Or
so?
is it
I don't,
is like
what do you
rather
mean?
than bringing 5 18 wheelers around with you, that sounds really impressive.
Yeah.
Or do you still do that and then
No, no. For instance, um, right now at this moment in time, the company that I work for, we have tours out with Burton Cummings and
okay.
BTO.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, that's funny.
yeah, yeah,
Interesting. Because it's the reason why I say that is because I can remember go back to a Rush show because those are the ones when I was a trad, and they would be part of the promotion were the number of 18 wheelers they would
yeah.
travel around with all their equipment of how massive it was, right?
Well, and they always kind of had to do that. Their stuff was so specialized that you couldn't just go into any town and rent it.
Oh, really?
And professional
Okay.
backline didn't really start until the early 70s, I think.
Oh, okay.
You
Okay.
know, um, you could always get a local music store to rent you something if they had it in stock. But dedicated, I think, if I'm not well, I think the first dedicated rental house in the States was SIR in New York, and there was a place called John Henry's in London, England.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I went the last time I was in the UK. I went to visit at John Henry's, and their place is enormous.
Really?
Like, and they do all the festivals, not just in the UK, but in Europe. They do them all.
Okay, so
And
that's where it comes back.
yeah, and
Okay.
it's their their place is unbelievably large. It's
Wow.
and like their drum department was bigger than my entire operation by 10 times.
And so, like a band would come in, and I'm not going to say it's the musicians necessarily that's
Mhm.
doing this, but the actual people that, like the roadie world, shall we say, the people
Yeah.
that are moving their equipment, they will come in and pick the pieces that they need at whatever city
Uh,
they're going to. Is that how it kind
no,
of works?
you know, you end up getting back in the old days, it was a fax, but now it's email. And it's just got their contract writer on it and says, for bass, we need this. For drums, we need this. For guitar 1, guitar 2, keyboards. They just go through the whole list of stuff. And most of the time, you'll be given a substitution. You know, if you can't
Okay.
get this amp, we know how to use one of these. It's similar enough that we can deal with it.
So what the act brings with them are
Yeah.
their instruments primarily, like the
Yeah.
guitar
For the
and
most
their
part. Yeah.
multiple guitars. They don't bring their
Guitars and
amps.
obviously horns they bring and stuff. The only instruments that you don't generally get brought, it would be like a piano, a real piano.
Right, right.
Although
Yes.
I have dealt with those, and like an upright bass.
Okay, okay. Yeah.
And I got a, I have an upright bass supplier who um, I used to
Interesting.
keep very busy, who I hope to make busy again. So
Well, no doubt will. Because
yeah,
it's like someone was saying to me, and this is be great to get your comment, was the and they were using it in connection with AI.
yeah,
And so much isn't real, so to speak. And like there's parts of AI that I'm actually loving because it's like I have a building beside me which has a bunch of people that can go and find out anything I want to know. That's
yeah,
kind of the things that I'm really liking about
yeah.
it. Not thinking of it as write my essay for school. I'm not thinking of it that way. It's just like when I'm trying to figure out information. And compared to trying to do that in our world years ago, going to the library and going through the card index to find a book
Yeah,
to find one fact, you can do all of that like literally in a couple hours.
yeah.
So I love that part of it. But what they were saying was, as we go into further into this, because there's many people that are just terrified that like there will be no more artists, and I
Mm.
don't think that's correct. Because I don't think they can create the artist. But my point is they're saying that live performance will thrive in this because people are going to be looking for humans creating the music versus a non-human through electronics through AI
Well,
completing or creating the music. So what's
yeah,
your
but I
comment
mean,
on that?
I don't know. I always thought that the failure of the record labels meant that the bands that were playing live would be better because they actually had to go out and play to make money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
Um, Yet, so many of them ended up relying on sequencers and
Mm,
pitch correction and stuff like that. I mean, if you can't do the basics, you know, you really shouldn't. You shouldn't be in this job
right.
because it's a job. And if any asshole can go by on Terry's pitch corrector and go on
Yes.
stage and sing, that
Yes.
that's not right. You need to
Right.
be able to go out and sing.
Yes.
And the fact that the first time it got used as an effect, like in that Cher song,
Yes.
it
Yes.
was kind of cool. It was neat. And then everybody started doing it. Every song that hit the airwaves, especially in like the hip hop genre. And don't
Well,
get me wrong, I
wait.
dig a lot of hip hop,
Yeah.
But that vocal effect done with the pitch correction is so old. I am so over it.
You know, when you bring that up, Craig, it's like you're like when Cher used it, it was almost like another musical instrument.
Yeah,
It's kind of
absolutely.
like Peter Frampton doing the thing with the
Talk
tube,
box.
right? The talk
Yeah,
box. It's the
yeah.
same kind of thing, right, guys? I remember how many people coming to me and saying, "No, he's so good, he can make his guitar talk." And
But the original person to do that was a pedal steel player back in the 50s.
no kidding.
So that technology, and before Frampton did it, Jeff Beck and Stevie Wonder were doing it as well. So
Interesting. But it was used as an
it was,
instrument,
yeah,
right? Like it
yeah,
wasn't used to make your voice be what people think your voice is. And that's
right.
I think what you're saying is people are
Yeah. I
using
mean,
it.
there was a
They're using
keyboard. There was a
yeah.
keyboard equivalent of it called the vocoder.
Okay. Yes, yes.
Yeah. So it had a microphone coming out of the keyboard, and
Yes. Mhm.
as you would play the melody, and you would just speak into the microphone. You don't even have to sing. It
Right.
just
Right.
it takes your voice into the microphone and it plays it as the
Yep.
pitch of whatever key you're playing on the keyboard. So, I mean, Alan Parsons' project.
Yes.
If you think
Yes.
of the song "The Raven," there's a
Yep.
whole section of it where they're doing it through a vocoder.
And it worked
And
pretty effectively too.
yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah. So what you're kind of saying is similar to what I just said about AI, and that
Yeah,
is if you use an AI to do your work, to do your essay,
yeah.
that's kind of like plagiarism
Um, well,
in a
it's
sense.
cheating for sure.
It's
I
well,
mean,
it's cheating, right?
the
And that's kind of
I've used AI one time. I had to write a like a promotional thing.
okay.
Um,
Yeah.
so I did, and then it was like, okay, let's see how an actual real writer would, maybe spice this up a bit.
Yes.
So I plugged it into the thingy thing, and it came out really well. And I was like, but you know what? I did all the work to start with.
Absolutely.
It
No.
it just corrected or
Yes.
made better what I did. So I'm okay with that.
Right, right.
But if you're just going write my essay, sorry,
And
you
that's
haven't
kind of
learned anything.
it's kind of what you're saying about these like these auto the voice things. Wait, what do they
Yeah,
call that? Auto tune? Or
auto tune, pitch correct. It's all kinds of different stuff.
and it's like you're you're using it to make the notes that you can't sing
Exactly.
correct, right? Which is a
Yeah,
similar thing, right?
yeah, totally. It's you're using something to create make it appear that you can sing that melody, and
Yes.
you're using that thing to make it appear like you're smart enough to write what is on the page.
Is
You know?
anything what it seems? it just it keeps repeating so many times.
Yeah.
So when when you come back to this thing, do you think people are going to desire this live performance more than ever? Or like you said with the record
I don't
companies,
know.
you don't is it
I
too
kind of
easy just to stay at home?
I got let down the last time. But the other problem is, if with concert tickets,
Oh,
based
yeah.
the way they are, I mean, I'm not going.
Yeah.
I'm not going to a show. We get the grand reopening of our hockey rink here in Hamilton,
Oh
and
yeah.
Paul McCartney is opening it. He's
Oh
going to be
no
the
way.
first, and the
Oh, I
ticket
don't want
prices
oh no.
before the resellers got a hold of them were $1,000
For one.
for one. I live in a blue collar town. I don't know how many people here can afford that, but they're now
Wow.
selling for $17,000 a piece on the
Wow.
reseller market.
Wow. Okay. So you added another ingredient in this picture that is not like when I asked that question, like I get yes, live performance. But if you're going to have to pay beyond what you see as the value you're going to get from it,
Mm-hmm.
that's going to be another not in the right. It's going to be a naysayer, right? It's going to take
Yeah,
it away
look,
from it,
man,
right? Wow,
I
interesting.
wouldn't, I would, if I had to pay to go to shows, I wouldn't be going to shows. And again, I haven't gone to a show since 2019. So,
Crazy to me. That
yeah,
is like very interesting of how that goes, because you kind of forget that. But $1,000, man, that's got to be one of the highest I've ever. That's before
that's
the
before anything, before resellers.
wow. That's crazy. I mean, I know Paul McCartney's legendary. I get that too. Like, I'm not, but that's
I mean,
still like
of
staggering.
all the acoustically crappy rooms that you could go and see a concert in,
Yes.
the one that we have in town here used to be not so bad. I don't know what it's like now since they're redoing it. They may have made it worse for all I know. But I mean, I saw Paul McCartney at the Sky Dome, and I think tickets were $95 or something like that.
So that's 10 times that price.
Yeah, in 30 plus years.
Wow, that is kind of a crazy number, right? So, and it's reopening. Like, what's the team that's going to play there?
I don't know. We lost our hockey team. They went to Brantford, and I think they're staying there. So, I mean,
Okay.
we were doing the Toronto Rock lacrosse games,
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
which was great because I remember going to see them at the Air Canada Center, and that was a
Okay.
lot of fun. I'd go. If they're going back, I'd go see that. I think we have a Canadian professional basketball team, maybe.
We do. Do we?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean,
I didn't know
there's
that.
leagues all over the place. You know,
Yes, there is.
we have a Canadian professional soccer team, CPL team, not
Yes.
MLS, not the same one that Toronto plays in. We're Canadian, strictly Canadian.
Okay.
So,
Because I think there's a team out here too
yeah.
that plays in that league.
Yeah.
So is that arena the old Cops Coliseum?
Yeah.
So they've refurbished it?
Yeah, it went from Cops to first it was a credit union.
Oh, okay. Okay. One of the banks.
First Ontario. And the thing about a credit union is because I had a friend who worked at one, they have to actually invest. They had to actually invest in the building. The money that they put in had to be used to invest in the building. It wasn't just a sponsorship.
Okay. Okay.
So it's no longer a First Ontario Center. It's now, I won't disclose the name of the bank
Okay.
that is just paying money to put their name on it, and it doesn't guarantee any work will get done. Like they won't
Okay.
upgrade things like the accessibility standards and stuff like that. But I guess I know the city's putting a ton of money into it. So,
But it's not called Cops anymore, is what you're saying.
oh,
So,
it hasn't been Cops for years.
I think in the early 90s, I think Roll the Bones tour,
Yeah,
I think I went to see them Rush at Cops.
I saw.
And I went by myself.
Really?
Yeah, like Zach had been born. And I'm sure it's around that early 90s time frame.
Yeah. Well, Roll the Bones was. I think the album came out in '89, right?
Yep. So that would have been that time frame for sure. And
I saw. Who did I see there? I saw Aerosmith on the Nine Lives tour.
ooh, okay.
I saw the Guess Who reunion tour there.
So that would have had Randy and Burton, or no
Yep.
Randy?
Randy and Burton,
Gary Peterson?
Gary Peterson, Bill Wallace, and Donnie McDougall.
Okay. Okay. Dominic Triano play for the Guess Who?
He was on the last two albums before they split.
Was he on Clap for the Wolfman song?
No.
Okay.
I think that was Kurt Winter and Don McDougall. I think.
And had that, and shortly after that, he went out. Burton went out on his own, right?
Yeah, Clap for the Wolfman was before the two albums that Dominic did.
Oh, okay.
I think those records came out in '74.
And Burton was the lead singing then for them too, for those two albums.
Burton's on those two albums.
Okay.
And then after the second one, Power in the Music. The first one was Flavors, and the Power in the Music was maybe Power in the Music. Power
Don't
to the
remember
Music.
those albums at all. Wow, it's like
They're actually my two favorite Guess Who records.
so now you got me looking. I'll be looking those up now.
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know that. One of the great, I think, all-time great rock and roll voices.
Yeah.
Burton Cummings.
Yep.
It's kind of astounding to me. Like I do put him up there with guys like Freddie Mercury. Like I
Yep.
think he has that kind of unbelievable natural.
I worked a show one time. Well, worked the show. I was hanging out at a show one time, and the headliners were Bachman Cummings.
Oh yeah.
So
like,
this
so
is
what?
after the Guess Who reunion,
Right.
when the guy who owned the name wanted too much money
Right.
for them to be able to, so they just went out as Bachman Cummings. So they were the headliner, and the act before them, or two before them, was Mark Farner, who was the singer for Grand Funk Railroad.
No, I did not. I know Grand Funk Railroad, but I don't
And
know that.
I'll tell you what, I'll put that guy on my list of favorite.
Really?
Rocks. Oh my God, yeah, absolutely incredible. Mark Farner.
Farner. Because I remember their album, and I loved it, with them all in Mr. Universe bodies.
Yeah. All the girls in the world beware.
Yes, that's the one. And I Columbia House, right?
Yeah.
And I like that album, but I would never have been able to guess that Mark Farner would have been the lead singer for that band.
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting.
I'm pretty sure that show was, I can't remember who the first band of the day was, but I think Mark Farner was second, and Steve Winwood, and then Bachman Cummings.
Okay. Oh, they opened for Winwood opened for Bachman Cummings.
Yeah.
You just think of like what Bachman and Cummings have written, and it's like it's like Lennon and McCartney almost in some ways, right? And they do not have that larger than life sense to me in the same way. It's really weird to me. It's like
I know.
Is it because we're Canadian? I don't know what it is, but it's like they have a crowning catalog of penned songs that are like These Eyes is like an amazing song.
Yep.
Kind of crazy to me. So I actually saw Burton do a corporate event for us when I was working at Husky. And that was one of the days when I thought he could play anything you want him to play. Like, I didn't know he was that good on the piano.
Yeah, I did. I think I had a backup piano out on rent with him when he did a live album during that, when it was just him, right?
Yes, okay.
Just him alone on the piano? Yep. There was no band, right?
No, he was just a piano. No, it was just him. Yeah. It was just him.
He did a live album in that period of time. That
interesting. It's like what's to me also is it's like they're in their element when they're performing like that too. Like it's just like it's just like us hanging out in a room having a conversation.
He used to play at the Imperial Room at the Royal York.
Burton Cummings.
Yeah.
Really?
He would go in for like a week or two.
Oh, like Gordon Lightfoot's stand at Massey Hall.
Yeah. And in fact, that was where he started doing his impersonation of Gordon Lightfoot singing Maggie May by Rod Stewart.
Wow. Okay.
Which
is that in the live album?
No, it's not. But you should look it up. It's on YouTube.
I will.
Yeah, very funny.
Well, he's one of those. He just has that gift of a voice, right? Like it's like Like Michael Bublé is like that. Has just a velvety, like, where does that come from?
Does Sinatra better than Sinatra did Sinatra?
Oh yeah, it's kind of crazy. Even hearing some of like the stories and like being with I think what I saw on a DVD was he was with his mom and sister in the back of their car,
Yeah.
and they had the crooners on, and he started to sing to them, and he said, I noticed something was weird because both mom and sis were wide-eyed looking at me like I was weird. But that's kind of a really neat thing too. So it's like, I don't know. It's so now we go back to, you said 78.
Yeah.
We saw, because there was, so did you go to the World Rock Festival with Ted Nugent? So
I
we went
did.
to that too.
Yeah.
And because he jumped off the stack at that show, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy man.
Yeah.
No, so can you remember who was there
What, as a
at
group
that
of us,
show? At that show,
or who played?
who performed?
Who played? Uh,
Oh my
um,
goodness, man!
Moxie opened, but we weren't into the building yet because
Oh,
they
okay.
only opened a couple of gates. And then Gatto, and then
Otto was there. Okay,
the Ramones,
we saw the Ramones.
and Johnny Winter,
I remember Johnny Winter. Now you say it, I would never have remembered that.
Nazareth,
Oh my goodness!
Ted Nugent, and Aerosmith.
So we did see Aerosmith.
Yeah. That was the first time I saw them. I saw them, I think I've seen them 4 times, but I really like them. You really like them, eh?
I was gonna say I fell in love with Toys in the Attic. Like
Yeah.
that album was
That album is quite something.
and they're like legendary. Like it's kind of crazy that they're still alive actually, because they're like their times were.
They shouldn't be, but yeah.
It's he's an amazing vocalist too.
Who? Steven Tyler, yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Oh, I was just reading the Joe Perry project is coming.
yes. Oh, it is.
Yeah, he's on the road with
Johnny Depp coming with him.
two
Alice
guys,
Cooper.
two guys from Aerosmith. Brad Whitford, the other
Okay.
guitar player.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure who I don't recognize the name, but it says he's been playing with. Somebody said he's been playing with them for 10 years, so it may be a keyboard player.
Ah, okay.
And a fairly star-studded cast. Not like the original Joe Perry project where you didn't hear of anybody, but everybody in the band except this one guy who is probably the Aerosmith keyboard player.
Okay. Interesting.
Everybody you've heard of. And they're playing, it says Toronto on such and such a date and Muskoka on another date. So I'm thinking playing History in Toronto and probably the Key to Bala.
Wow, that would be a pretty neat. Is that like Ringo Starr's All-Star Band? Like, are they bringing in guest performers to be
well,
there?
I don't know. I mean, the Joe Perry project existed because he left the band.
Right, yeah.
And so he put together his band, the Joe Perry Project. Now, I don't think this version of it it's just rehashing the name. I don't know that anybody in it was in the original version. Except
and you might know this story, but they did well from Guitar Hero.
Did
correct?
they?
Okay, you don't know that. Because I'd heard that they made a lot.
Me in video games,
Well, again, these are little tidbits that like I hear about, so you can't confirm that, so I'm just going to leave that alone.
That's not to say it's not true, Doug. I don't know.
Not to say, but check those sources. Those are kind of
if your mother says she loves you, check your sources.
So, other kind of memorable things that you were supplied, because I know you've supplied equipment to Ray Charles. I know you've supplied equipment to, like, well, the last one we talked about with Alex Lifeson and Rush.
Yeah.
Because your company, can we say your company? Your previous company?
I'll not Which, the company I work for now, or the company I
No,
used to own?
no, the one that that was yours.
I will not give that company any advertising that they don't deserve. So I'd
So we're
prefer not.
not gonna. No, so we're not going to. But
Let's
you
just say
used
it's a company I used to own.
yes, but you used to be on almost any CD that you bought
Yeah.
that was a Canadian act, at least, right?
We did tons of Northern Pikes, Rush.
It
Rush,
was like
starting at Counterparts, everything forward except the live albums.
it was amazing to me. Like if you have a CD today and you have one of those albums, like from Rush, from Counterparts and forward,
Yeah.
or like he mentioned Northern Pikes, but like 5440, like any of those bands, I'd be willing to
I don't
bet
I
your
don't
name
think
was on.
I'm listed. I
Nothing
mean,
50,
5440 were clients. They did a lot of live stuff with them, but I think they did all their recordings in Vancouver. I don't think I did anything.
Lana Morissette. Like I'm sure some
Well,
of those
but I
had your
mean,
name on it.
no, I
No,
I didn't, because I mean, I knew Alanis when she was still doing dance music.
in Ottawa.
Yeah, because I was dating a girl in Ottawa who
Ah, okay,
who
okay.
used to be the makeup artist on the TV show You Can't Do That on Television.
Yes,
So
yes.
that's how we met. Now, when she moved to Toronto, we hung out a lot, and I
Okay.
introduced her to a bunch of people in the local scene. In fact, one of the guys I introduced her to co-wrote a bunch of stuff with her
Oh,
that did not make the Jagged Little Pill record, but at least one track made it to the 4 CD anniversary release.
oh, really?
And he's been living in Nashville for years now as a Grammy award-winning songwriter.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. No, that's very neat.
So, but I mean, I knew that there's, I mean, I knew a lot of people. I know a lot of people.
Yeah. No, I'm
But
very
I knew the
aware.
different. I mean, I knew Alanis. I mean, I remember hearing a tape of that record before it came out, or
And
it was just like, this is either going to be the biggest selling record of all time or it's going to flop.
so did like when you heard it,
Yeah.
did it like this like I'll
Well,
give you an
I
example.
think my quote to her was, "I really love this record. This is the greatest thing I've ever heard,"
Okay.
which means
Okay.
it's probably going to flop.
That's pretty
I
crazy.
didn't have a good record with liking popular music, but
Well, the reason why I say that, so I'm going to go back. That record had the same effect as I'll go to Boston,
yep,
More Than a Feeling. When I first, those
yep,
opening, they still run shivers up my spine. The first,
yep,
like there's something about that. It's just, oh my goodness, rings true.
yep.
I'll also say Linkin Park's first album
Okay,
did the same thing to me because they were combining like melody music with, I'll call it rap for lack of
yeah,
a better term.
yeah, yeah.
And uh, the late Chester Bennington could like scream on key.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was kind of a crazy kind of mix, and they made it work to me.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I never had a problem with them. I mean, my kid was more into it than I was, but
no, I can remember like that was that was kind of I had no idea that you could do that kind of stuff. It was kind of in a way, not to the same level, but the first time I heard Farewell to Kings, it was like, how do three guys do that? And you can make music like that you want to listen to. It's
yeah.
not classical, but it's not pop, and it's like, how do you? It's just something new, right?
Well, I mean, when they were doing that, that was during their prog era, and so you could go back and listen to stuff like Yes or
Yes.
Emerson, Lake and
Yeah.
Palmer and King Crimson, and get the same kind of thing, where it was,
I liked Yes. I liked Yes for
yeah,
sure. And it's interesting you say this because recently I've met a couple of guys that are kind of metalheads, for lack of a better term.
yeah,
And like Iron Maiden, Black Sabbath fits into
yeah,
that.
yeah,
And what I didn't realize was the extent to how they wrote lyrics. Like, because that wasn't part of my world at all, right? And I
yeah,
always found it weird how you could have somebody write something like what Pert would that was like it stood alone. It didn't even need music.
Yeah.
And yet I've heard more and more about like well, Smoke on the Water, what it's even about.
Yeah.
And you think of like the Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner. I think Iron Maiden did a whole song of that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And you kind of go, I didn't see that at all. Like I never
Mm-hmm.
heard that at all. But because the music part was like, how do I describe it? It was too for me too like how do I describe it? It's like it's not really punching. It's just it was really well, it was hard. Like it was really, and it wasn't very to me very melodic. And that's kind of, but I never studied it at all. I just kind of
Which
listened,
wasn't very
like
melodic.
Iron Maiden.
Yeah,
And
I wouldn't really call what they do terribly melodic, although it has fairly good range, and again, more
yep,
than three notes in the melody. So, you know,
and that's kind of
I'll
what I've
totally give
learned.
it. But
Like
again,
it's
then I look at a group like on the total opposite end of the spectrum. If you know look at a group like Public Enemy,
okay,
which was it went beyond being your typical rap group because it wasn't just
right, right.
two guys and a turntable guy. It was two guys and a turntable guy and an actual band. So, you know, I
No,
found
that's
that far more engaging than
yes, yes.
just a typical rap tune.
Oh, interesting how that kind of fit together to me. And so some of that stuff, like I just kind of missed,
Yeah.
which I kind of find interesting now. When you kind of like I think I told you
Well, the
about
great thing
missing.
is we can keep discovering new stuff that's not really that new.
In many ways, it's not new at all, right?
Yeah.
Like when you whether it be like a Led Zeppelin, right? Like I kind of missed that, and then
Yeah.
kind of went back and saw Tom Petty from a different perspective
Yeah.
completely.
Yeah.
And like all of that stuff is 50 plus years old,
Yeah.
or most
Oh,
of it
yeah.
is.
Shit. Yeah.
And you wonder what would a Prince or a Tom Petty have done, or even for that matter, what would Chester Bennington with Linkin Park have created,
Yeah.
right? It's a weird
George
Chris
Michael,
Cornell, George Michael, like there's a
Michael
vocalist.
Jackson.
Oh yeah, now you're going down the road of Michael
Yeah.
Jackson. Boy, oh boy,
That's a lot of rabbit holes.
it's amazing the talent that one guy had. I think I'm confidently like I'll see like a reel of something that he did because like he could dance incredible and still sing. Like there was no backing track there, right? Like it was like it's just so kind of, and it would be well presented. Like we're not just up there,
Mm-hmm.
and so I have two things. I'll call them questions, but if you could go back in your world, and this is twofold. It's one of the things is if you could say, I wish I could, not trying to look at the implications of what's happened today or anything like that, but just with your musical experience at kind of any time,
Yeah.
whatever you were doing, is there one thing that you said, I wish this had happened? And with that, of thinking what you've gone through, if there's a young, I'll say, maybe not even a young, but a person listening with all that you've kind of been able to experience in the music world, what would be like something that you would say would be I'll call it a word of wisdom or a this I would suggest you pay attention to, or just something that you could kind of summarize.
Okay.
And then I want to go into the future
All right.
a little bit.
Okay.
I'm
So,
asking you these questions because I don't like them.
oh, okay. The if is there something I wish had happened? Does it have to be a business thing or just
It
because?
doesn't. It's just like if you go back And I was phrasing it around the music world,
Yeah.
but I'm kind of expanding. Like, if there's something in your world that if you could shift, you wish would have happened different, even if you can kind of project it out and like
Okay.
it wouldn't have been.
Um,
And yes, that's the
if
question.
the thing I wish I could have done was convince my mom to take me to see Elvis in Buffalo
Oh, that's very cool.
in
I
70,
like that.
77. It was his final tour, although we didn't know it then.
Yes.
And he played at the old Memorial Auditorium,
Oh, wow.
I believe. That was one.
Did you try?
I tried to talk her into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
It
fair.
didn't. Yeah.
That's I like
She
that.
took me to see the Monkees in '69.
Oh, that's neat. Yeah.
Took me to see the Beach Boys the first time in '74.
Wow.
The opening act was BTO. Go figure.
To Beach Boys.
Bringing it back to our earlier conversation.
Yes. BTO. That would have been Bachman Turner Overdrive then.
Yes.
And that would have been pretty early in their
Yeah,
formation, wouldn't it?
I think Taking Care of Business was just going up the chart.
Oh, it was. Because that was a very cool song.
It was before Blair Thornton. It was Tim Bachman that was in the band.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Any advice for young people? I'll tell you what. Any people. I went last September. I went on a. I went to Memphis and Nashville to get my Elvis on, amongst other things. You know, went to the Stax Museum of Soul and stuff like that. The one thing I highly recommend everybody on the earth do when it's safe to go back to America is go to the Civil Rights Museum.
Oh, that's the T-shirt
in Memphis.
Oh.
It was the most significant experience of my life.
No way.
It has. Yeah, I can't. You can't describe what it's like.
So, I can't help but ask you this. So did you know that when you were going?
I knew I wanted to go there. I didn't know how profound an effect it would have on me.
And why did you like? What was driving you to want to go there?
Well, come on, Doug. I'm a hippie. You know, I'm
history.
I'm very much into
yes,
human rights and civil rights, and I'm a recycling Nazi. I'm really, you know, I've got a different blue box for everything that you're just like. It was the effect it had was profound. It was like nothing I've ever experienced before.
Interesting. Wow. Okay. Those are two pretty big things.
And they all strangely focused around Elvis.
Yeah. No, it's I did not know the Elvis one. Yeah. I'm thinking like, oh, this is kind of that would be kind of interesting, right? Because who would have ever believed that would happen?
I'm obviously not. I'm not old enough to have seen the Beatles.
Right. You can see one of them if you're willing to pay $1,000. Apparently in Hamilton.
Yeah. You can see Ringo for less.
Yes, I know.
The two living Beatles are the two that I worked with. So
that is. But the Civil Rights Museum in Memphis.
It's in the Lorraine Motel, which is where Martin Luther King was assassinated, and people just stopped going. They wouldn't stay there, so the place closed in the 70s.
Oh,
and it remained closed until the 90s. When somebody got a hold of it and turned it into the Civil Rights Museum.
It's almost like we need what you just said more than ever in this world.
Yeah.
It's like
And it
you
was,
you are a personification of love thy neighbor
I like to think
more
so. Thank you.
more than most of the people I know. Like I'm you've exhibited that your whole life. You don't always know that
I,
in
I,
talking to you, but
I believe you.
you
Yeah,
have incredible care for people. And
I never thought about it back so much. Like it was never a conscious thing. It's
mm,
more of a conscious thing now than it was back then.
that is amazing to me, though.
But
Like,
I tell you, man, we there was a bunch of us went. There was like, I don't know, 8 or 9 of us,
wow.
and we rented a townhouse that was literally around the corner from this place. Um, and
So
we were
the intention of going wasn't just to go to the museum, or
no, the
was just
intention of going was to go to Graceland,
okay,
which
That's
I would. I'll go back to the Civil Rights Museum before I'll go back to Graceland.
so. Would you say it was a bit disappointing, or just not? You had
It's
a high
just
expectation for it.
I well, it's just become such a Disneyland
Ah,
thing. You
okay,
know, it's
okay,
like
yes, yeah. Commercial.
there used to be, the bus would pull up outside the front door. Now the bus pulls up across the road. Um, I don't know. There's like a huge complex across the road that's just monstrous exhibit halls with trillions of cars in them and
Mm.
gold records. It was like it's almost too overwhelming, you know.
Hence the Disney comparison.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Okay. Yeah.
it's like I don't want to. I don't want to be.
No, but they know how to market things, right? You go through
Well,
a
but
ride
they
and then you,
overmarket. They
yeah,
overdo it.
yeah, no,
It's like going to a Formula One race in Belgium and getting a really nice T-shirt versus going to a NASCAR race in Charlotte, and it's just so gaudy and
mm,
ugh, you know. That's kind of what Graceland was like to me. It was like,
mm.
yeah, man, I don't know. Can we leave yet? I, I, It's too much. It's just too
Yeah.
much sensory overload for any one person to take.
It's kind of in a way, I describe this some ways like they've bobbleheaded it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Or
Like
Funko Pop.
it's kind of like it's gone to that point
Yeah.
where now you're on the front cover of Cheerios.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's just yes,
Well,
it's great I think for um a portion of it to keep the memory going,
yeah.
but it's not how you necessarily want to remember them as an
No,
artist
I
or
mean,
as a human being even.
the Stax was great. Sun Records was great.
Mm.
These places were all, if I didn't know who Elvis was and I went to Graceland, I
Ah,
might
okay.
come out of there not knowing who Elvis was
Right.
because
Right.
it's more about it than it is about him. Um,
Yes, yes, yes.
and
Well, it's
and
a brand.
it is and it's kind of gross. I don't know. I
Tell
mean,
tell me,
huh?
did you like the Elvis movie?
I haven't seen it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Because
Um,
you are I would call a really good film critic of music biopic documentary pictures.
I'm not a huge fan of biopics.
No, I'm aware of that.
Yeah, like
Like part of
That Queen movie was absolute rubbish. I mean, it was entertaining as an entertaining
absolutely,
product.
yeah.
It was
Yeah.
great, but factually, it was nowhere near correct.
Well, the reason why I think of that movie is because, and I was thinking of it earlier on when we were talking about how like so much of technology is taken away from the musicianship,
Yeah,
and how they kind of showed how they experimented with mics and
yeah,
swinging speakers around. Like it
yeah,
was a time when you were you had to be creative to, like, I think of like Stevie Tyler talking about on Sweet Emotion, the shaker is a sugar pack that they put up to the microphone.
Yeah.
And like everybody has this little story. Sting sitting on the piano at the beginning of Roxanne by
Yeah.
accident. And
Plonk.
like all those things are kind of very memorable kind of
Yeah.
events. And that's what Bohemian Rhapsody, that scene where they're literally going crazy trying to make these weird noises
Yeah.
into a song that was quite groundbreaking, I would say. Like
Yeah.
very original.
Oh,
So that's why I said
absolutely. It's one of the greatest pieces. You know, it would be like it sort of picked up where Pet Sounds and Sergeant Pepper left off.
see they're like, well, you see now you go back to what we talked about last time, Love and Mercy in the movie, right?
Yeah, that was a pretty accurate movie.
But it was interesting, like I thought did a really great job of is depicting that genius of Brian Wilson
Mm-hmm.
into an area that, well, you're not supposed to know anything about this.
Yeah.
And yet he knew it almost beyond what they knew, right? Like he knew how to
Yeah.
put it in together
Yeah.
in a very, very different mode.
Yeah.
So it was like, it's very cool.
And literally one of the greatest actors of our time, Paul Giamatti, was such an asshole in that movie. I mean, come on. Nobody else could play that character.
No, it was yeah. Paul Giamatti was he's one of those guys that is just he plays the role. Like I don't know whether you've seen Billions.
No.
But he plays the same kind of nasty, kind of shrewd, manipulative, like he played in Love and Mercy. He was like perfectly cast for that.
And he was also was in the Stern movie, Private Parts.
Oh, I see. I've never seen that movie. So
that you should. I think there's two actors who fly well under the radar. Are Paul Giamatti and Owen Wilson.
Yeah, Owen Wilson's not like Paul Giamatti is not in enough stuff, I feel. Like I just find he's got a very, like, I can't help but think of him in the Ben Stiller movie, right? What was the model movie? Zoolander?
Yeah, I've never seen that. I'm not really a big fan of the guy.
He's got such a weird sense about him, and it was like after that I kind of have enjoyed it more. But he was in that Midnight movie by Woody Allen about Ernest Hemingway.
Oh, I don't know that one.
Oh, he's the Canadian gal that's in that. She was in I'm forgetting some of the different players that were in it, but he was in it and was like he would have these dreams of night of going back at midnight to visit the classic authors like Hemingway and Fitzgerald and see them in their likes. And it was like, being my background, I kind of love to be able to get a chance to have a conversation with Ernest Hemingway.
Yeah.
And I'll add to that, probably wouldn't be how I would think it would be. Because not only was he character, I think he had like a real hard side to him too, which I think everybody does, but it's just kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So, yes, keep going.
Another actor, though, who I should have mentioned earlier as well with those other two is Jeff Daniels.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah. So Jeff Daniels for me is Newsweek. It was written by Aaron Sorkin. It was 3 seasons. And what went viral on the air was when he was at a university. He's in the character, right? He's a news guy. Mm-hmm. Newsroom. It's called Newsroom. Very fast paced.
I remember that, Jim.
And they were in like a university atmosphere, and there were like 4 kind of news anchor personalities, and a young sophomore lady speaks them and say, "Can you describe why America is great?" And he goes on a rage for like 2 minutes about why America is not great. If you haven't seen it, it went viral.
I'll
It was
check it out.
amazing.
My first exposure to him would have been Dumb and Dumber,
Yes.
but then
Oh yeah.
it seemed within 10 years he was playing George Washington in a very serious made-for-TV film about the Revolution, and I was like, okay,
Have you seen Godless?
no, I
So
haven't
you
seen
should.
a lot. I don't, my movie going sort of stopped a long time ago. I
Okay.
I don't know a
Well,
lot of.
if you like Jeff Daniels,
Yeah.
Godless is it's an old time western done with modern technology,
Oh, okay. Cool.
and it's like I think it's 6 episodes, and he and Sam Waterston, who's also in Newsroom. Those two, if you live
Sam
closer,
Waterston, he was Law and Order, yeah?
see. I didn't watch TV, so that sounds right. That
Yeah,
sounds right. He's very good,
yeah,
and they play wonderfully off. But they're both in Godless and
yeah,
in Newsroom.
yeah,
And Newsroom is like a newsroom. It's super fast paced.
yeah.
So Aaron Sorkin wrote A Few Good Men and West Wing.
Okay.
So like I love what he puts together. It's amazing. And Newsroom is super fast paced, but they did. Jeff Daniels was perfectly cast in it. Like
Awesome.
just oh my goodness, it's
I'll
like,
have to
but
check
it's
that
worth
out.
seeing the YouTube viral thing because it's like he just spins it off, and it's like, oh, it's kind of very very cool. So now I've got another kind of going the other way.
Yeah,
What does Craig see coming? Not only in your world, because you're very excited about what's going on, and I am for
yeah,
you as well,
yeah,
but in well, you're going to be in the music world,
yeah.
entertainment world, what you might see coming that way, and what would you, what maybe you see coming, but also what would you like to see coming? Obviously, not $1,000 tickets to go to see a rock
No, I'm
show.
not happy with that. I mean, but okay. So, should we do a really quick sort of recap about?
Sure,
Right.
if it helps you answer that question.
So, I owned a company. It was very successful. I sold it to
So
somebody.
can I interrupt you right
Yeah,
there,
yeah, yeah,
just for one
yeah,
second, just to give it? So I've spent so Craig and I we were close in high school. We kind of parted, not really like any formal part, but he was in one grade. I went to university, the corporate world, all that kind of stuff. And I came back to see him and I can't remember the dates, right? This is probably 15 years ago, maybe. It might be longer than that. It's kind of crazy. And I knew that he was in the music business. I think I brought the Ricky back to you. That's right. That's when I first saw you. So that's even longer ago than that. Like
I
that's like
think,
25
but
years
I
ago.
think that was a cut because you came to the. I'm pretty sure you came to the shop in Markham
Oh yeah, no, for sure I did.
a
Yeah,
long
yeah.
time ago. But then
Yep.
the most recent time you came was when I was on St. Clair,
I
correct?
want on the East End.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So that's a thing. Like that time I kind of came in. I already saw you in a warehouse. So
yeah.
like again, appreciate I'm in the corporate world, done all these different things, kind of and I go back to see Craig and his warehouse of equipment. I was agog. Like I just like and like drums, keyboard. And the one time I come out, he pulls out this sunburst red Rickenbacker 4001. Beautiful piece of all shined up and everything. And I'm kind of going like, what did he do? Like it was very clear you were successful and you knew what was going on and you really did look like you were loving what you were doing, right? Even though
I
it was
was
driving you nuts.
I was still kind of loving it back at that point,
So
but
that to give you a setting, that's kind of what I kind of came back to, and I'm saying that's 20 plus around that years ago. So like, but I couldn't believe your warehouse. That was the part that was like, oh my goodness, man, you got so much stuff here. Anyway,
so
back to where you were with you
yeah.
ran a successful.
So I had this successful company, relatively successful, and I sold it to somebody who decided not to pay me for it.
How
So
that's possible is mind-boggling.
well, Doug, Shall we discuss the injustice system in this country? Because if, you know,
It's what you want to talk about, man. So it's
okay,
like,
well,
you,
we'll get to that.
okay.
But anyway, so I had to sell my house so I could sue him, and this all started the day before COVID, March the 16th, 2020.
Yeah. Yeah. Literally 3 months before we moved out here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Because I was dropping stuff at your house.
yeah, yeah, and I didn't. Well, I didn't
Yep.
sell my house until May of 21.
Right.
But yeah. So anyway, so I could finance the lawsuit to get what
You were supposed to get.
what I was supposed to get. Now, this thing has dragged because all you have to do is successfully drag shit out and delay
Mhm.
and postpone and stuff, and you can technically outspend somebody, and they have to walk away.
Mhm.
And the legal system is not, or the justice system is not built or designed
Mhm.
to do anything positive for people who are getting screwed over.
Right.
You know, so it basically was 5 years.
This is 2025.
It's now 2025. Yeah.
Yes.
So 2 weeks ago, I got back a substantial amount of equipment that was not part of the sale. Not all of it, but a substantial amount of it. And late last week,
cool.
I heard that the funds, not all of them, but as much as I'm settling for, have been transferred to my lawyer. So we're now just working out a couple of little niggly details, and this will finally be done. And unfortunately, the way the world is now, I doubt I'll ever be able to buy another house. But I'll be able to rent a nice one. So, and I started work.
Yes.
Getting back. So I'm going to tie something together here, Doug. So you remember
I've been waiting.
You remember I told you that I hired a couple of the guys I hired to work for me at the music store, took the sound company and went away.
Yes.
And then I had gone and eventually gotten into the backline thing. And the first thing I did after moving out of my mom's garage was I went and rented space from them. I shared a shop with these guys back in 1991 or something.
I was going to say, this is like 30 years ago.
Yeah. And then I moved to the shop next door to them because I got bigger, and so did they. And then I moved to the Markham shop, which was the first one that you came to.
Okay.
In 93 or 4 or something like that.
Was like that on Denison?
No, it was on 14th Avenue.
Okay.
Very close to Denison.
Yes. Okay. Yep. This is the only name I know out there.
Yeah. Oh, come on. You must know Steel Case.
Oh, is it still there? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
The street is still there. They're not going to change the name of the street.
Oh, wow. That's way back.
So one of the guys that I gave him his start in the business has hired me to work for his company.
Wow. Yeah.
So
how cool is that?
Yeah. So I'm having fun.
That tells about love thy neighbor and not burn any of your bridges.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm reconnecting with mostly suppliers. I mean, my thing is it took me a long time to work out the fact that you got to try and go direct to buy the stuff at wholesale as opposed to going to the music store and buying it at whatever they want
Right.
to sell it to you for. So I'm reconnecting with a bunch of my old contacts and setting up arrangements for direct purchases and stuff like that. Yeah, and we have a BTO tour and a Burton Cummings tour, and this company does the only thing they didn't really have, and they still don't really, because I've only been there 3 months. They're not a backline supplier,
Okay.
but they do full stages, audio and lighting, video walls, everything. They do everything else incredibly well.
Interesting.
So
You and I was gonna say, like, what would I was gonna say? You're like I've been saying a magical kind of head that has stepped into here, because I mean, for them this is like we just got the king. Because
well,
like there's no like how much training, like it's like all this stuff, like it's
yeah,
kind
I
of like
mean,
they're much like they're just like how did this happen?
yeah, I mean
Which is cool.
the thing I don't know, and I never really did know, is keyboards, synthesizers, and because that stuff changes like every 6 months.
Well,
The,
it's kind of in a way one of the most electronic part too, right?
it is,
An
and you think of
electronic
it,
change.
when it changes every 6 months, that means in the last 5 years
Oh,
it's changed 12 times.
you're lucky there's
So
still just keys.
yeah, well, they're not. Trust me, there's way more to it than that. But no,
No,
I'm
that's amazing to
I'm
me.
having a good time.
That's
Like, everybody that I contact is happy to hear from me,
Oh, I'll bet they are, man. Like
and yeah,
that is a very, very cool change of situation.
yeah, yeah. So I'm
So do you think that this trip to the Civil Rights Museum
yeah.
was in some way predestined for you to visit there, to bring this whole thing kind of together? Because it's
I
like
honestly don't
it
know.
affected you in a big way.
It affected me in a huge way. I mean, I almost didn't make that trip.
Yeah,
I was treated to that trip by an anonymous donor. I was not in
that's
a
amazing.
position to be able to do that
You
at
were
the time.
supposed to do that. Like it's as simple as that. And we're
Yeah,
not. We have a hard time with things that we're supposed to do, and we can't figure out why they happen.
yeah, yeah,
I have that all the time. It's kind of astounding. So
yeah.
it's interesting when you say that with doing the Bachman and the Cummings tours, because did I just see an ad that they're playing with the Marshall Tucker band?
I don't know. I'm not even sure who's headlining on that. I would imagine
Okay.
BTO would be headlining that.
See, no, there, Randy Bachman is like, it was almost like he was when I knew um, and followed Bachman Turner Overdrive for the first time.
Yeah,
He was like, his image was almost like your older brother to me. Like that's kind of how he was. I thought of him. I
yeah,
never had an older brother, but he just, even when you heard him in interviews, he was just like kind of like not a rock star, just a nice guy.
yeah.
Didn't know anything about him, by the way.
Well, there you. But you figured out. I mean, he is a nice guy.
And so it's like, and he did for years, he did Vinyl Tap, right?
Hmm.
And has some great stories in there. So he's another future potential future guest, because it would be kind of neat to have, like, to go through all, like he's been through everything since the
Yeah.
60s basically, right?
It's too
And
bad he
now you
doesn't.
tell
Too bad he doesn't
with
still live on Salt Spring, because
oh,
he lives here now.
oh, he does.
I think he's in
I,
Oakville.
I would have told he lived in near Victoria.
Well, he used to have he used to be on Salt Spring Island,
Ah, okay. Well, I
but I'm
didn't know
pretty
that.
sure he's out here now.
Well, you could be. I mean, I don't know, but that was one of the names that like kind of came up, and he's always got really interesting stories as far as what he had. Now, speaking with that, before we've got up, so I'll say one of my favorite movies spoofs that came out 31 years ago was Spinal Tap.
Doug
Yeah,
came out way more than 31 years ago.
it did.
Yeah,
Oh, like how long ago?
came out in '84.
Okay. No, well, how I thought they were saying that like it's the sequel that took 31 plus years to put
No,
out, whatever. So,
it took way longer than that.
so good correction. So it's even longer. He's going to beat Tom Cruise in Top Gun.
Yeah.
And I loved the movie because it was such a spoof
Yeah.
on so many things. Like even with our band, you could almost relate to.
Yeah.
Like it just hilarious.
I just remember watching that movie in a room. There was like, I don't know, 10 of us, maybe five guys and our girlfriends. And the guy,
Okay.
we were all laughing because we were all played. And
You got it.
we got it. And the girls were like,
This is stupid.
I don't get it.
So I'm really anxious to see this new one because
Yeah.
it's neat because they're all old now too.
Yeah.
And how many of the old guys are there out playing live performances now, right?
Well,
like so many
and
are.
apparently this thing is just crammed full of guest spots.
Oh, cameos? Yeah.
Paul
Oh,
McCartney.
Oh, really?
Elton John.
Oh my.
To name two.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's
makes me even do it. It's
full
weird.
of cameos.
And Rob Reiner directed this, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So
it wouldn't be right if he didn't.
I was commenting the other day is when you think of movie directors, Rob Reiner is not one that comes to mind, and it's really
nor
weird.
Ron Howard, really. I think fly under the radar a bit again with those guys.
And I think like Rob Reiner did Princess Bride.
One of my favorites.
It's like a cult classic movie. Amazing. He did A Few Good Men, I think.
Yeah.
Like that has one of the all-time ultimate scenes in it where Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson go at it in the courtroom.
That You Can't Handle the Truth?
That's the one. And I said, this is so far beyond acting now. This is like real. And it's like, Rob Reiner directed that? Oh
yeah.
Goodness,
well, when you consider where he came from.
We were commenting about Archie Bunker, right?
Yeah.
All in the Family.
Yeah.
He was called Meathead.
Yeah.
Laura was saying the other day, she goes, I can't even imagine my dad calling you Meathead. Like, well, I can't either, actually.
No, but you know, because it was early 70s television, you know what he meant to call him.
Well, it's probably still a 4-letter word with head after it, but yes, that is true. But there were so many things that, like, you think of like a show like that trying to air today, like it just wouldn't even make it past the first showing. Like, it's
which is a shame because so many people fail to realize what satire is about.
Well, because we can't offend anybody.
Commentary.
Yeah, it's we're all very, very serious now, and we can't. I think even like going back and watching the reruns on Seinfeld, it's like, oh my goodness, man! Like this was so far ahead of its time in many ways, and yet now you can't. We just saw him live actually.
Oh yeah,
and he killed. We were blown away. I think a guy named Adam Hamilton opened for him, and he was just as funny.
Yeah.
But he was, we were like, our stomachs hurt after that show.
That's good. All I know is like one thing about that show for sure. I didn't watch a whole lot of episodes of it, but when I did watch, and I do remember quite vividly, that they would probably never be able to do today. Was the masturbation episode.
Oh, I don't remember that one.
You don't?
No. No, I do. Yes, I do. I do. Yes.
Kramer comes in after 3 minutes and slaps his money down and goes, "I'm out."
No, I do remember that because it was kind of underlying. They never used the word, I don't think.
Oh, probably.
But you knew what they were talking about. But I there's so many like double dipping, and not that there's anything wrong with that. And
no soup for you.
No soup for you. And I remember like I was thinking today when like we banned straws here in our country, right? And it's like and I'm going with the episode where I think it's George who's out driving golf balls into the ocean. And then the next day
I didn't really watch it regularly.
A next day a whale comes up on the shore, right? and George acts as a marine biologist and puts his arm down the blowhole and pulls out a golf ball, right? And
Yeah.
all I could think of because we went through some of the episodes recently, and all I could think of is, man, isn't that good that they don't have that today? Because
Yeah.
all I could think of was like, more golf balls. But there was a lot of funny things in
Yeah, like
for sure.
lawn
But
darts.
we just talked about lawn darts 2 nights ago. We were walking around, and I'm going like, I wonder how many times they have people come into the emerge with a dart stuck in their head.
I don't know.
Because
Remember,
they were so much fun to play.
Do you remember at our high school? I seem to remember a story about at a track meet somebody getting zinged by a javelin.
Don't remember that, but
No.
that would be wicked. But again, that would be one of those things with all the track and field events they would have in the country.
Yeah,
You would think that a few
discus would have to become Nerf balls and discs.
Oh my goodness, I would think so. But it was just funny the lawn dart game because I can remember having fun with that, but I can remember also being like scolded for like, you got to be watching where it's going.
Yeah,
but that's an old time one for sure. So I was gonna say, before we wrap up today,
yes,
and I've kind of alluded to this already. Is there anything you'd like to share that you haven't shared yet that might be useful or kind of like interesting for someone? Like that, just final words that you'd like to say today.
Geez, that's a bit of pressure, Doug.
Stress.
Is it possible that anything I would have to say could be that important?
Well, the reason why, I think this is kind of an interesting.
Who's made a living playing in a.
There you go. There's a lot to be said about that.
I've been fortunate enough to, have acquired things that make me happy and that I can generate income from.
There you go.
I mean, I guess just the only thing I can really say is if you want to do something, then do it. Find that thing that makes you happy and brings you joy. And whether it starts as a part-time thing and you have to, do a real job to fund it, just do it. And if it turns into a career, that's great. If it doesn't turn into a career, that's also great because at least you're doing it and you're having fun doing it. That's all
I think that's pretty cool. I think that's a great way to kind of wrap things up because you're a demonstration of that, I think.
Well, I'm a guy who's got a lot of shit. Really, there's no two ways about it.
No, it's just, I think it's a nice way to like. The other part that's really cool about, I think, what's going on for you is this, and you can interject if you like, but you're going now, I'll say, back into something that you really like to do.
Yeah.
You're good at it. You know that already.
Yeah.
And you also have a lot of experience in that area. And it's one of those things that to me is, and I hear this all the time, like about this concept of retirement. And we all say, we want to retire. And you want to retire because you don't want to do what you're doing anymore. Like that's one thing.
Yeah.
But, in the way our world is happening, and yes, I could walk across the street tomorrow and not be here, but you got a lot of years still.
Yeah, I think so.
To do stuff. What are you going to do with that? Because I don't know, but I don't think golf's going to cut it for that many people.
Well, I look at it on that particular topic, I never learned how to golf. I have absolutely no intention on learning how to do it now. So, but like 20 years ago, I went to I went to racing school.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, that was something that was done as a bit of a contra. I did something for somebody's boss who happened to be involved with something that was I got in. The whole course was 4 days. I took the
Oh,
first
wow.
2 days. I mean, technically, I could have gone back if I had the money to pay for the third and fourth day. I could have come out of there with a racing license.
Oh, wow. Wow.
But I don't think that was ever in my. That wasn't really ever in my future to do that. Although I would like to get involved now. I'd like to get involved with a karting team.
Oh.
I gotta find a go-kart team and I don't know, somehow get involved in it. I wouldn't mind doing that. Help
There you
out the
go.
kids that want to become
There you
race
go.
drivers. That would, I mean, I don't know a lot of things. I know guitars
Racing.
and cars, and that's kind of
Yeah.
it, really.
So,
Oh, and
who?
do you want fries with that? I can do that.
So, since our last conversation, your new world is back in the music world, which
Yes.
it wasn't at that time.
No, well, it was kind of nothing. It was a big cosmic void at that time.
Yes. Yeah. And cosmic's a great word for that.
Yeah.
But who knows, like, what could happen the next time we have our conversation in our next episode?
Well, I'm looking forward to that. There'll certainly be a lot more to report on by that point because,
Oh, no.
again, I'm figuring you have to tell me when you're planning on scheduling this thing to go on air because I might have to say, okay, well, I'm not completely finished with the settlement yet, so can you hold off for a little while? Because I have maybe said more than I should about a couple of things, but
Well, this is the joy of editing.
Yeah. The joy
Anyway,
of time.
I've taken a big chunk of your day away today, but for me, it's been very much fun, and it always has fun having these conversations. I'm kind of glad I discovered this new. I have to be honest, I didn't take credit for discovering it, but I'm having fun kind of doing it, and it's like it's something
there
I
you go.
had not. Yeah.
You're doing what you like to do. I'm doing what I like to do. Do you have a book, Doug? Can I interview you on your own show for a moment? Do you have a book coming out at any time?
I do not have a new book. I have several written.
Okay.
And I do have, and what we're hoping is as we progress with this YouTube Better Than Not podcast,
right?
Again, which I hope you'll subscribe to because that helps do a lot of things.
I have.
But there you go. Craig has subscribed. What I'm hoping is that we can bring the trilogy out, the third. So the actor, the musician, and the third book of that trilogy is going to come out of what we do with this. Like those are the kind of things that we're trying to look at.
So if you're looking at a trilogy that sort of actually links together, you got the actor, the musician, and what's the next guy that like the bartender? The short order cook?
If you read the article that Mark Medley wrote at the Globe and Mail, you might think it's going to be called The Author because that was the name of it at that time.
Oh, there you go.
But I don't think that's what it's going to be titled. It's actually going to probably be titled more accurately to what it's all about.
The what?
It's going to be titled more closely to what the whole series is about.
Okay.
And so
there you go.
And I don't know. I don't think I've discussed the title yet, so I'm kind of leaving it as on a hold. But it's very much around the idea that happens in both the actor and the musician. And
right.
So we'll see. I'm hoping. I was going to say I'm very active in all those things, but it's that's what I'm kind of hoping to see what happen. And that's why when I asked you about what the future looks like, it's why I'm so intrigued by this is because I'm hearing so many people not satisfied with just retiring. And
I got to tell you, I kind of enjoyed not doing anything, but I also hated it. It was like, I don't have to, I can just sit here. I can
There you
do
go.
that. It was, yeah, I don't know that I'll ever do it again.
Well, it's to me, it's one of those things that it like if you're doing stuff you don't really want to do, and
Yeah.
I mean, I do get that. Like if you really hate what you're doing,
Yeah.
I get that. But it's kind of what you said is, and that was kind of going out to, I'll say, younger people in essence, was find what you like to do and try and do it.
Yeah.
And I think maybe in our world today, that's more possible than it's ever been.
Well, yeah, I mean,
But
uh,
you have to be paying attention. Like you
you
have
do,
to be involved, right?
and you have to be willing to put the work in. I mean, that's the problem. A lot of
There's no
people
shortcuts.
don't understand the concept of actually working. They,
No,
you know,
this is to me that's a great point, Craig. There are really no shortcuts, and this is why we talked about AI. If you're going to get AI to do your essay to get your degree and not do anything,
yeah, you'll just be so unprepared for life in the real world.
you're going to get it right. Like that's just how it happens.
I saw a great short or something on, or a reel or whatever they call those things that on the book of the face, um, where this girl, sitting at her desk, and she looks at the clock and she starts packing all her stuff up, and she's like, well, I guess I'll see you all in September. Have a good summer. And they go, what do you mean? She says, well, it's the end of June. Isn't it time for vacation? And they're like, no, this is your job. You don't get the summers off. It's like, yeah, I know some people like that.
Yeah, yeah, I was going to say it's just, and you don't know, Craig, where it even comes from, right?
And
Where does
and I
work ethic come from?
realize I'm not casting aspersions over everybody from that generation. I'm just talking about a specific group of.
Yes. Well, you brought up the point that I think is very good. Like you do have to put the work in.
Yeah.
Like AI, yeah, it can do some neat stuff, right? I love it, but you still got to put the work in.
Once you train AI how to
Oh,
do what it is you do, like, it needs to learn your styles and your phrasings and stuff like that. You have to keep feeding your stuff into it to make it.
no doubt.
Yeah.
And in addition to that, you're going to grow.
Yeah.
And so that's going to shift too, right? Like as you go, right?
Yeah.
You're not the same person. And was it Alice in Wonderland? I wasn't the same person I was this morning. Well, with that, man, I think it's time to wrap up another episode of Better Than Not.
Yeah.
Craig, I can't thank you enough for being part of this. You part of the early part. I've had some super fun talking about this.
Yeah.
One of these days, maybe we'll get the band on. The whole band.
That would be hilarious.
I think it would be fun. So hopefully we can kind of figure that out.
Yeah.
And for you listening today, like I said, thanks for listening. I hope you've enjoyed the episode with Craig Collett, musician and a man who's embarking on a world that he loves to be in, which is very, very cool. So, and with that, I hope you'll tune in. I hope you'll subscribe to Better Than Not, a YouTube channel. And as I said at the beginning, we just never know, are things really the way they seem? With that, bye for now. Thanks, Greg.
Thanks, Doug.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Are we on? Good. Welcome to the Better Than Not podcast. Sometimes we get it right, sometimes we don't. But when we at least do something, we know it's almost always better than not.